Hi, I know I'm at a really funny angle today, and that's because I wanted to show you my nail polish stand. I made that recently because I just felt that my nail polish was just not being used because it was dumped in a Quality Street tin and overflowing into a Ferrerro Rocher box, and I just wasn't using it. It didn't look good. I just wasn't inspired. If I don't see colour, you know, on display like that, I just don't feel like using it. So I thought about different display stands, and there were ones on eBay that were clear, that you could screw to the wall, but they were between £30 to £60, £30 being the smaller ones, and £60 for being the larger ones. But you know, with import duty and things like that, I just thought that it was just too costly, and I thought it would be more interesting and fun to make my own one. So I made this one out of MDF. I did use MDF, but I think it's better than the foam boards that I've seen some people use. And literally just put it together. So I thought I'll do a full detailed tutorial showing you how I did it, but I got too excited, it took too long to make, and I've recorded the steps, some of the steps, and then I'm just going to talk you through what I did for the rest. So laying all the pieces together, I'm just going to spray some primer on the MDF. It's bare MDF. I haven't keyed it down or anything like that. So I've opened the back door as well because these spray paints always make me really dizzy. They're full of fumes. I've laid all these pieces together. The worst thing I could do is sort of set them all off in different areas and do them individually. If I do that, I'm going to waste a lot of spray. Now when I spray, it does tend to go out towards the sides a little bit, so it's best to keep all the pieces together. What I'm going to do is just do the one edge of the side pieces only, which will be the visible edge. The rest of the edges are going to be placed within the unit and not going to be seen, so there's really no point in me doing any of the sides. I will, once they're dry and they're all painted, then I will turn it to the side and do the other way as well. Just going to spray the primer on. Okay, the sides also need to be sprayed, so the inner edge there is almost dry. It's dry to touch. It's been about 30-40 minutes since I sprayed the sides. I've moved the big piece out of the way, and I'm just going to spray one side of all of these pieces. These pieces are going to be visible. These are the shelves, so they're going to be visible top and bottom, so the flat sides on all sides of these side pieces and shelf pieces need to be sprayed. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, this big piece here I've propped up, and I'm going to spray the very top edge here and the two sides on either side. Let that dry and then I'll work on the other side. When I started the project, I basically went into B&Q, pulled out a large sheet of MDF, took it to the guy at the counter and said, I want a piece this big. And he looked at me quite confused and he asked me, you know, how you know, the measurements for the cut I wanted, and I just said, I pointed to him and I said, cut here, right along the top. So he put it through their machine and he cut a slice off for me. Then I said, right, I want to make the frame, which is this bit here. Can you cut me strips that fit around the frame of about so wide? And so I literally just showed him with my fingers that wide, and he did it. And then I said, okay, he'd done the sides for me. He basically, we stuck it onto the board and not to the outside part or the outside edge of the board, so that this stayed flush. So this top piece and this bottom piece had to be slightly shorter in order for it to fit between these two pieces, and that he got a bit confused with, but he got there in the end. Yeah, and then he cut the shelves the same size as these pieces, so you know there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shelf pieces as such, including the top and the bottom. It was a really weird way of doing it, measuring by hand, but it's a very Indian thing to do. Same with the cooking, you just kind of play it by ear. So basically I used 2 cans of spray and ran out, but it was fine anyway. I didn't really need any more spray at that point. I then used No More Nails, it was the Wick's own brand equivalent of No More Nails, and glued the frame together. So I put I think that corner together, and then I put this corner together, stuck it down, and used anything I had in the house just to hold the frame together so that it doesn't you know, fall apart or move away while it was drying. And it took a whole night to dry, but while that was pretty tacky and pretty stuck on, that same night I then stuck on these shelves. Now I never I did it all by eye. I didn't you know, use any measuring tape or anything like that for the whole project. I didn't. I basically took these bottles and I just laid them in between and looked with my own eye, you know, the space that's left between. So I kind of have got it right, although there will be a few millimetres difference. And I think down here at the bottom I didn't have too much space, so I made these very, very narrow. My intention was to hold my pigments down the bottom, and then my smaller nail polishes for in here, and then my inglot ones were going to go in the middle, my larger bottles up top. I am overflowing, and I'm using the top of it to keep my nail polishes together. But basically once it was stuck, it was more or less done. The glue is showing and you can see them in the corners, and I'll zoom in later so you can see. And I need to get another spray bottle to just go over those areas and file them down first as well, so that it's nice and smooth. And I'm also wanting to paint these bits a glossy black, so I need to get that paint too. But once that's done, I'm then going to screw this to this wall back here because it's really loose. It's not in danger of falling down because I have my door which just clips the corner here. So once this is in place, it really doesn't move, but I'd rather have the security of knowing that this is, you know, tacked properly to the wall and it's not going to fall down. The shelf space is quite wide, so I can actually double up any nail polish on there. In fact, I've got 2 rows of my art pens back here, and then I can put 2 rows of my inglot nail polishes if I run out of space, so I can actually hold quite a few nail polishes in here. I don't think I'll need another one. If I zoom in, you can see the white from the glue that's there. And you can see the frame here is a bit patchy. It doesn't look too bad, but I really would like to paint that black. I think it looks so much better. This piece here just makes it look a little bit like cork, but I really love this sort of sandy brown grainy finish of the spray paint, and it looks wicked with the rest of my room. It goes really nicely. I just really do need to finish it off because of all these bits that you can see, but once it's painted properly and finished properly, which I'm not going to do for a while just yet, I'll probably do it after Christmas. So I was really keen to do a proper tutorial on it, but I got so excited that I just started gluing the pieces right away and I didn't show you exactly what I was doing. You know, I just was doing a lot of it at night when the kids were asleep, the gluing part of it, and I was just didn't get the camera out. So do forgive me for not showing you the gluing part, but it really was, as I said, just holding the things together, supporting them, letting them dry overnight. I let the whole piece dry less than 24 hours before I stuck the nail polishes on them. That's how excited I was. I hope you do try making your own as opposed to just buying a standard ready-made one, which there's nothing wrong with doing that, but if you do feel creative, then it's really nice to just put your touch on something. Mine goes with my room, and I really love it. My husband actually isn't into anything like this, obviously, but you know, even he was quite impressed with what I came up with. The shelves don't look wonky at all. The nail polishes have stayed up there now for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and yeah, just really impressed with it. I might make another one for my pigments downstairs for the room that I do my tutorials in. But so I'll see you guys soon. Bye!